All right, let's talk about one of the most buzzed about properties in Kuala Lumpur right now, TRX Residences. Can one single development really change a city's entire financial future? It's a huge claim. So today, we're going to dig deep. We'll look at it from two angles. Is it a smart move for an investor? And what's it actually like to live there? We're going to see if the reality matches the hype. Let's dive in.
Now this quote right here, this isn't just some fancy marketing slogan. This tells you everything you need to know about the ambition behind the entire Tun Razak Exchange, or TRX. They're not just building some new towers. They're aiming to create something on the level of London's Canary Wharf or Singapore's Marina Bay. And, that kind of sky-high ambition, well, it's the reason for everything that follows. The premium price tag, the incredible infrastructure, and yeah, the potential for huge returns. But also, let's be real, huge risk. This is a high-stakes game.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get the big picture on why TRX is being called KL's new center of gravity. Then, we'll crunch the numbers for all you investors out there. After that, we'll switch gears and look at the lifestyle. What's it like to actually live here? We'll also talk about the cost, because it's a big one. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with our verdict on who this project is really for.
All right, first up, KL's new center of gravity. To really get why these residences are so important, you first have to understand the entire ecosystem they're sitting in. It's not just about the building itself. So, what is it that makes TRX so special?
So, what is TRX? At its heart, it's a huge 70-acre project with serious government backing. And this is the key part. It's Malaysia's first and only dedicated international financial district. So think of it like a giant magnet, purpose-built to pull in global companies, top talent, and a whole lot of capital, all into this one spot. That national-level importance, that's the foundation of this whole investment.
Look, an international financial district sounds great on paper, but it's just an idea until the big fish actually show up. And, well, they have. We're talking about giants like HSBC, Prudential, Huawei. These guys don't just move their headquarters on a whim. This shows massive confidence from the big players. And when they move in, they're not just taking up office space. They're instantly creating a community of high-income professionals. That's your built-in rental market, right there from day one.
And who's building all this? The developer is Lendlease. And honestly, this is a really big deal. These guys are world famous for something called placemaking. What that means is they don't just build a condo and a mall and call it a day. No, they build entire neighborhoods, living, breathing communities that are designed to last. So when you see their name on a project, it's basically a stamp of quality. It tells you they're thinking about long-term value and top-notch management.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But if you're an investor, you're probably asking, what does this all mean for my wallet? Let's put the vision aside for a second and talk numbers.
All right, if there's one number you need to remember as an investor, it's this one, 45,000. That is the number of knowledge workers, think bankers, consultants, tech execs, who are expected to be working right here, on site by 2025. This is basically a landlord's dream. You've got a huge, ready-made pool of high-quality tenants who will pay a premium to just walk to their office. That's powerful.
And what does that demand do to your potential income? Well, this chart lays it out pretty clearly. You've got the good old, reliable KLCC area, which gives you a solid, stable return. But look at the projection for TRX Residences. It's aiming for a noticeably higher rental yield. And that extra juice, it comes directly from those 45,000 workers we just talked about, all wanting to live right next to their jobs.
Okay, so rental income is one thing. But for a lot of investors, the real prize is capital appreciation. The value of the property itself going up. And the projections here are pretty exciting, suggesting growth of anywhere from 5 to even 20% as the whole district finds its feet over the next decade or so. The whole idea is to get in now, on the ground floor, before everyone else realizes how successful this place is going to be.
Okay, so that's the case for the investor. But what if you're thinking of actually living here? Let's put away the spreadsheets for a minute and talk about the lifestyle. What's the day-to-day really like?
This pretty much sums it up. The whole promise here is this idea of a walk-to-everything lifestyle. Just imagine this. You wake up in your apartment, and then you take a quick 70-meter stroll, under a covered walkway, by the way, to the city's biggest MRT station. Or you just pop down a direct link into a giant mall with hundreds of shops. And when you need some green space, you step right out into a 10-acre park on the roof. It's all about making city life seamless and, well, easy.
And the facilities, wow, we're talking 90,000 square feet of them. This is not just your standard condo, pool, and gym. We're talking multiple pools, a full-on CrossFit gym, dedicated co-working spaces, which are perfect for today's work-from-home world, and even things like a residence lounge and a gardening workshop. The whole idea is that the amenities are an extension of your actual apartment.
All right, but let's be honest. All of this incredible convenience, the world-class facilities, it's not going to be cheap, right? So now it's time for a clear-eyed look at the price you have to pay for all this prestige.
So the first number that's going to make you blink is this one, the maintenance fee. At 85 cents per square foot, let's not sugarcoat it. That is at the very, very top of the market in KL. But here's what you're paying for. It's not just for cleaning the pool in your building. This fee covers the upkeep of the entire district. That 10-acre park, the top-tier security, the special water treatment plant, everything. It's the price of admission to keep the whole place running like a Swiss watch.
This table really brings it all together, doesn't it? It shows how the pros and cons are basically two sides of the same coin. On the financial side, yeah, you get high potential returns, but that's because you're paying a premium price to get in, and those high maintenance fees are always going to be there. For lifestyle, you get this amazing connected world at your fingertips, but the flip side is that you're living in a very high-density area. And being a pioneer in a brand new district, it's exciting for sure, but it also means there's no established community yet. That's something that will take time to build.
Okay, so we've weighed the good and the bad, which brings us to the final verdict. Who is this actually for? Who's the right fit for TRX Residences?
You know, one of the best ways to understand who TRX Residences is for is to compare it to its next-door neighbor, Core Residence. It's pretty clear. TRX Residences is the top-of-the-line, ultra-luxury player. It's targeting high-net-worth folks and investors who want that prestige. Core Residence, on the other hand, is positioned as more affordable luxury. It's an easier way to get into the TRX ecosystem, maybe for a young professional or a family. So even within TRX, you've got choices, depending on your budget and what you're looking for.
So the bottom line is this. TRX Residences isn't for everyone, and it doesn't pretend to be. It's for a very specific type of person. It's for someone who puts prestige and seamless convenience above everything else. Someone who wants to live in a world-class, perfectly managed bubble and is absolutely willing to pay the premium that comes with it. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. As our cities keep growing and life gets more and more complicated, is this the future? Is this kind of hyper-connected, high-cost, totally managed ecosystem the new blueprint for how we're all going to live in the 21st century?